What is up guys, Matt the owner of Tales Channel here, bringing you a speculations video on when the next Sonic game is going to be released for retail, that's consoles and maybe PC as well. But anyways, I have a special guest with me, please introduce yourself.
Hey guys, it's Donnie, aka SSF1991, hi again.
Again. But we're here to talk about that of course, and Donnie was actually the person who kind of put this news out on Twitter, so I'll let him explain if you don't mind.
Well, it's something that we've been really getting kind of speculative about, and mostly because it's been quite a few months since we've heard anything about it, and it's getting to be that time of year where an announcement is almost, I would say, like a given if E3 ends up being the way it could be for Sega, but despite their lack of a booth. But the next Sonic game has been really all over the place. There's no idea when it's going to come out, but
no clues, no announcements. We're completely in the blank right now. We don't know anything about this new game.
No, we really don't. All we know is that there's going to be a new game, and it's going to be likely on consoles. And it may very well be a main Sonic game, since usually every 2 years they put out a main Sonic game, with the exception of colors into generations. But yeah, that's the next Sonic game, and it's something that we haven't really been able to sort out because of just how Sega's restructuring is kind of bit into their schedule quite a bit. As I said earlier, they aren't going to be at E3 with a booth. They are going to be at E3, but not with a booth. There's contemplation about if they're going to be putting it out next year instead of this year because of Sonic's 25th anniversary as well. There's a lot of factors that have been put into play here, and it's creating a lot of division and a lot of speculation, and there's really no way of saying it. However, I'd say today, something I took notice of that I didn't notice it sooner because we actually found out about this the other day, but Sega Sammy, the parent of Sega, parent business company Sega, they're stationed in Japan. They put out their fiscal year report the other day. As a matter of fact, it was yesterday. And I do believe there was a note in there where they talked about, packaged gaming, basically retail, and their plans for the next 10, 11 months. Well, what we found out was apparently they're going to have some mainstay IPs coming out at that time. And if you don't know what mainstay means, it basically means, okay, this is something that we can trust to support them. This is their cash cows, the stuff they know will be able to support them financially, keep the train moving, stuff like that.
What you said on Twitter was basically like Sonic, Alien Isolation, or that series, Total War, Persona, Miku, those types of things that will get Sega money, basically.
Yeah, it's basically their cash cow IPs, the stuff that they know will make them money, regardless of where it is, You could say, well, this could be an IP that could be made. Say, no, this is the stuff that this is based on what they are going at, not what we want, what we really want them to do. This is stuff that they are aware of as of now, that they know that they can trust. As much as I know people want a new Shenmue or something like that, that's not a mainstay IP. That's not something they know they can support. This is the IPs that they know that they could get support from beyond a shadow of a doubt. An IP that hasn't been out for 20 years, we might think it may very well become a mainstay IP, but they, on the other hand, don't have that mindset,
Which sucks.
Yeah.
It really does suck. Because I would love to see, another Jet Set Radio or Knights game or, But no, that's probably not going to happen, to be honest. Let's be realistic, but anyways, we're talking about Sonic here, so yeah. Let's get back on track.
But to be fair, though, that was one of their...
Yeah, pretty much.
Stuff like Sonic are the cash cows. And for Sonic, I would be absolutely surprised if that wasn't one of their mainstay IPs. Considering, it's Sonic. But I think the reason why I kind of have a little bit of doubts within me is because Sega Sammy have basically they've been really, really making note. They're trying to make sure their sales are stabilizing. They want to make sure their finances are stabilized in the packaged gaming market and gaming as a whole. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to, to reinforce stuff like that and etc., etc. But with Sonic's sales as unstable as it is, it makes me wonder, are they going to hold off for it for a little bit to kind of get stability going again with their finances or something? That's something that that's probably my only hunch right now about the next Sonic game is, more than likely, if we do hear a Sonic game, if it's going to come out anytime soon, we'll be hearing about it at E3. The question is, if we do get it, when will it come out? We don't know.
But basically in your tweet, you kind of said that they're trying to get their mainstay IPs, out and released by March 31st of 2016. So, I mean, there's a possibility, one of them may be a Sonic game.
I think it's a given that there's going to be a Sonic game. It's just...
Of course, it's their flagship time. I mean...
Yeah, it's just...
No question.
It's a given. It's just... We don't have concrete, information that, okay, here's this next Sonic game. We haven't gotten an announcement of that yet. We've just had a little bit of... We've had a little bit of bits and little kind of tidbits. The best way I can describe it is we have the crumbs to a full cake. Have a cake, there's just a few crumbs laying around, and all we have are the crumbs. We don't know what the cake looks like, we don't know what it's going to taste like. I guess that's the best analogy I can think of.
We just know that they can make a cake. Yeah, pretty much.
They're going to be making a cake. I don't know what is it with me and analogies on your channel, but...
Food jokes, my friend. It's been in Sonic games for a long time.
Yep. But yeah, we don't know when the next Sonic game is going to be, and I know I've been saying that a lot, but I'm trying to reinforce that. We don't know when, and it could easily be later this year, it could be in March of next year. We only know is that if there's going to be a next Sonic game anytime soon, it'll be by March 2016. And odds are, if we're going to get a Sonic announcement, they're probably going to announce it at E3, because they've done that before. Will they do it again? I don't know. That's the thing, that we don't know what Sega's planning for the next Sonic game.
We don't. We don't know anything about this. We don't know anything pretty much about the game. We only know that, Izuku's planning to put this one, as well as, any other Sonic stuff, on consoles. Except for, the phone games and stuff. But, mainstream Sonic games probably are going to be on consoles always, according to Izuka.
Yeah, there's no guarantee that, we'll have another Nintendo exclusive game. I think that's gonna be done. I think
it's over. I think after, to be honest, the sales of what happened, with Lost World, Boom, and the Olympic Games, I don't think they'll be doing this again for a while, to be honest.
The thing is that Sega has made a history of releasing a lot of Nintendo exclusive games. The problem was that compared to the previous Nintendo exclusive games, Sega was a lot more ambitious about this. They made a big deal about how it was Nintendo exclusive. They made a big deal with the budget, and
the thing is here, if we, I guess, compare Sonic Adventure 2, Dreamcast versus GameCube, right?
Yeah.
And everyone knows it's like a Nintendo GameCube game. Well, that's because the Dreamcast was already kind of dying out. And, everyone's had a GameCube. I mean, who didn't have a GameCube at that time? I don't know anyone. But, everyone got Sonic Adventure 2 for the GameCube, and that's why it's really considered as kind of a GameCube game, if you agree with me, Donnie.
Yeah, I think Sonic Adventure 2 has really become a GameCube game. I've played the Dreamcast version, and I could definitely see, why people would kind of feel like it was a Dreamcast game. But by 2001... I definitely think that the Dreamcast was pretty much on its... I think that was the last year that Dreamcast was supported, in fact. I think by 2002... it was pretty much... I think they had discontinued it by then.
Yeah. So, I guess that's why people kind of associated Sonic with Nintendo. Because ever since then, a lot of Sonic games have been released on Nintendo consoles, and I guess Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 are really what started that all, pretty much. But if we're talking about the new Wii U games, they didn't do so well, and we know that from the Sonic Lost World sales, which did okay, but not really well. We know definitely that from the Sonic Boom sales. We don't even have to talk about that.
That's another story altogether. But
yeah, and I don't really know about the Olympic Games. Do you know?
from what I heard, that apparently they were lower than the previous games, and I think that may just be due to the fact that by now, I think, to be fair, at the time when that version of the Olympics games came out, which was, I believe, the Sochi version, people were still... I want to attribute Lost World and the Olympic Games' sales to the fact that at the time, the Wii U wasn't really in the state it is now, where it's kind of actually doing a lot better.
Like a staple?
Yeah, the Wii U isn't really... wasn't really that huge in 2013, even in early 2014.
That's a true statement, yeah. I mean, everyone was talking about how the Wii U kind of had no games, to be honest. And, I mean, now it definitely does. I mean, It has a lot of games. It had games back then, but I mean, it didn't have, like, the wide selection of games it has now, including, like, Super Smash, Mario Kart. I mean, you got all these new games coming in, all these new games that already came out, like Pikmin 3. I mean, now the Wii U is a very established console. Back then, it was kind of like poked at for not having a lot of games, you know, especially third party and stuff. And maybe that's why, you know, the Sonic games didn't do so well. Boom, no.
Boom was an exception.
Yeah, Boom. It had a reason for not doing well, but Lost World and Olympic Games, yeah, probably because of that. But I mean, if this next Sonic game is coming out by, I guess, March of 2016, I'm pretty sure it's going to be for all consoles. I mean, the Wii U, even though Sonic hasn't really done so well on the Wii U so far, I'm pretty sure they might have like a Wii U release, as well as like an Xbox One, PS4, PS3, Xbox 360, maybe, I don't know. Probably just those next-gen consoles, if you know what I mean.
I wouldn't be surprised if the next Sonic game was on an Xbox One or PS4 at this point. Whether they'll be exclusive to those, I don't think they will be exclusive to just those, because if there's one thing I've learned about, if there's one thing Sega is known for, it's not being Microsoft or Sony exclusive, because both Microsoft and Sony only have one single console. And the PS Vita, it's not really that great. I'm surprised it's even still being supported at this point.
I mean, the PS Vita, it's a really like fun handheld, but you got to admit the 3DS blows it out of the water. I mean, you can't, especially with sales. I mean, you can't.
Not just with sales, but overall, no one really has a Vita. I mean,
I have a Vita.
Well, you're an exception. You're Matt, but
wow,
you're the owner. You're the owner.
I actually got it from. Fun fact: I got it for Persona 4, and I got it from. What did I get it for? I got it for the Dragon Ball game on there. Battle Z. There we go.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't really like. I don't really use my Vita. I use my 3DS a lot more, and that's. I mean, if Sega's doing handheld games, the 3DS is the go-to. I guess for consoles, the Wii U, the PS4, Xbox One, and PC probably. I mean, Sonic Generations did so well on PC.
Ooh, that actually, speaking of, I just realized too, they are technically supporting Sonic. We already do have a Sonic game that's coming soon, and that's the 3D Classics version of Sonic 2.
I mean,
I don't know if that's worth counting, but
not really, because I mean, we already know about it, and it's. I mean, is it really retail? I mean,
it's digital more than anything. It's only going to be on the 3DS.
I mean, I don't think that really counts.
They considered it completely separate from package gaming. That's the thing, is that this fiscal year 2016 plan of mainstay IPs was for packaged gaming, not digital. And that's one thing that should be clarified, because I just now I forgot all about that. It's been so largely ignored, but yeah, the 3D Classic version of Sonic 2 that's going to be coming later this year on 3DS in the eShop does not count, because
it definitely doesn't. I mean, if we're talking like a new Sonic game, we're talking about like a new Sonic game. We're not talking about 3D Classics. I mean, even though I really do want that, it looks really cool. And I mean, we're talking about a new Sonic game here. And if we're talking about like one that's going to be on retail, that's going to be on like pretty much all the consoles, it's probably going to be a main series game.
Yeah.
And probably not a spin-off. I mean, we actually re-recorded this video because my audio kind of cut out, but before I think we ended last time, Donnie was talking about, the spin-offs and how they're probably not going to do that.
Yeah, there's no way we're going to be seeing another spin-off game. Not so much because
I
Boom,
wonder
but...
why. I wonder why.
Well, the thing is that spin-off games do happen often. Like, just because of the fact that Boom came out. I don't think even if Boom was a good game and it sold very well, even then, I'd still think Sega would have been like, okay, we're not going to be releasing a spin-off game next. We're going to be doing our main game next. Because they, like I said, they tend to do a new main Sonic game every 2 years or so. And we've reached that point where they are more likely to be releasing another main Sonic game. Again, which again brings up the point, the question is only not really a matter of if, but a matter of when. Are they going to release it this year? Or are they going to release it next year because of Sonic's anniversary? We don't know yet. All we know is there's going to be a new game coming soon. It'll probably be a main Sonic game, but when they're going to announce it, when they're going to release it, all this stuff is just not known right now, and that's something I can't stress enough. Is that we don't know.
But now we kind of have a little hint, but
yeah.
I mean, that hint isn't really saying too much. I mean, obviously, before March 31st, 2016, could mean any time before March 31st, 2016.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if we're talking about, those main titles like Sonic, and they're releasing them on retail, then we're probably getting a new Sonic game before March 31st of 2016. But that's just a speculation, guys. It hasn't been really confirmed. I mean, we could get a Sonic game late 2016, but we're definitely getting a Sonic the Hedgehog game. It's not over. It's never over.
Yeah, I do think that we're going to get a new Sonic game. It's pretty much a given. It's just, again, like I said, a matter of when. And, like I said, we'll know beyond a shadow of a doubt when the next Sonic game will be by E3. I don't think Sega's gonna... Sega isn't really the kind of people that like to announce a Sonic game late in the year. Although with the way they've been kind of hinting at saying that they will be... most of the 2015, 2016 games, they want to announce them after E3. I don't know. It's really going to be an interesting year coming up. I mean, even halfway into the year, it still amazes me as to how quiet this year has been.
I mean, we got Runners. That's pretty much it. I mean, Runners is a smartphone game. Of course, it's like, I guess, a Sonic game, but it's not really a main series game. It's not really something that's going to go on consoles ever. So far, this is the first Sonic year I think we've seen where a mobile game has pretty much dominated this year. Which is something I don't think anyone expected. I think everyone... And honestly, and I'm gonna be honest here, the hype for Runners is kind of, like, really decreasing. I mean, Sonic Runners, of course, is still a hot topic, but over time, I've seen, the talk about Runners, like, slightly decreasing day by day. So I think, people will get, like, really excited for that new Sonic game because, Runners is out. I mean,
I've seen more people talk about Boom. I've seen more people talk about the Boom cartoon than
I've seen
Runners.
More people talk about Boom than like any other Sonic game in the past couple of years. But
other than 06, but
yeah, probably. But I mean, Runners is a topic. I mean, a lot of people have it if you got it through, the good way or the bad way. But we won't say the bad way. But I mean,
hacks.
At the hacks, basically. It's actually pretty easy. It's not hacks, but it
is to me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Donnie.
I'm sorry for your loss, Donnie.
In any case, that kind of Sonic Runners hype is dying down a lot, and
that would be the good time to announce something.
Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily. That's kind of
what Nintendo does. I mean, they announced Splatoon, right?
Yeah.
Then the Splatoon hype kind of died down, and then they hit us with a bunch of Splatoon. And guess what? Everyone that I know is hyped for Splatoon. I mean, I'm hyped for Splatoon. It works. And I kind of think Sega might be going down that route. Like, you have this new Sonic game, kind of, I guess, Runners. We'll call it a Sonic game for now. But, I mean, you got Runners. and the hype is kind of dying down for runners because, you know, I mean, it's been out for a while, and then boom, once the hype, you know, gets to that point, there'll be new hype of the new Sonic game. And I mean, this happens every time. This happens every single time. It's not like a foreign concept. So
it's a matter of what Sega's plans are right now. What is their mindset? Are they going to announce a Sonic game at E3? Are they going to wait until after E3 and go a very radical route because it's something they don't usually do? Are they going to release it on Sonic's 25th anniversary? We don't know what Sega's mindset is right now. All we know is that they're definitely focusing on the restructure right now. We already know that like I said, we know at the very least they're planning on mainstay IPs and all, but we don't know exactly what Sega's game plan is, and that's the problem that we have right now in terms of kind of reaching some kind of prediction or trying to figure out what is going to happen. We can't, because we don't know what Sega's doing. And I know we've been saying that a lot in this video, but that's pretty much what it boils down to.
We don't know what Sega is doing at this point. I mean, we're completely out of the blue, pun intended. I'm so sorry, but anyways, I mean, I'm pretty sure we summed it all up. You know, there might be a Sonic game coming before March 31st of 2016, but that's still very vague. But, you know, it's still kind of a hint that was thrown to us by Sega Sammy. Kind of, maybe. Donnie, you think so?
Yeah, it's the first real hints to what Sega may be planning. Like, for pretty much this whole year, we've had nothing but silence from Sega about just about everything, and except with the exception of runners occasionally. But from Sega Sammy, we got our first hint or teaser as to what they may be planning for the next 10-11 months. And it's something that we are going to have to keep in mind because come this next year, it's going to be huge with Sonic's anniversary, and I would be shocked if Sega did not do something.
I mean, they do it every anniversary. I mean, Sonic Adventure 2 was an anniversary title. Sonic Generations was an anniversary title. And Donnie, I'll let you say the other one.
Sonic 06 was an anniversary.
There you go! Hey!
It was an anniversary title, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Sega does a lot of anniversary titles. Maybe it's not like Sonic Generations type of anniversary title where you go through the older stages, you know?
It's gonna be a Sonic title that kind of helps revitalize the series or whatever, and et cetera, et cetera.
I really hope so. I really do hope so. I want a Sonic game that I can just remember in a positive way. I need to remember this one in a positive way.
It really hasn't been a good time to be a Sonic fan as of late. What with the news about the sales of Sonic, the boom, and the only real positive thing we can talk about is the cartoon. The cartoon is doing very, very well. And there's going to be an article going up on TSSZ tomorrow, actually, talking about
shameless plug. No.
Shameless plug. But there's going to be an article going up on TSSZ tomorrow about the overall ratings of Boom, because believe it or not, we're going to be halfway into the season of Boom starting this Saturday.
Yeah, oh my god, it's been a while.
Yeah, the season 1 of Boom will be halfway done. As a matter of fact, wait a second, I just found out, speaking of ratings, I think I just found out that we got some more ratings.
So be sure to check out TSSZ for all of that information, because, Donnie looks excited right now. I mean, I can't even see him, but he sounds excited. That's what I meant. So
Sonic Boom got over 1 million views again.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
You can check that all out on TSSZ. A link will be in the description down below. I guess we're pretty much done with this video, so Donnie, thank you so much for joining me, man. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Yep. I always enjoy being on these, It's always nice to just sit down and have a nice conversation. So,
of course, and this isn't really a Sonic Chats, but I guess kind of like a news discussion video, so...
It's a speculation.
Yeah, there you go.
I've pretty much become your speculation guy, haven't I?
Yeah, that's pretty much... Donnie's become my right-hand man, pretty much.
Yeah, for videos like this.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Well, the thing is, though, is that considering how much the two of us follow the news and stuff, I mean, it's really become kind of our mainstay to kind of... I know, I went with mainstay, but our mainstay to talk about Sonic and, basically, speculate and sort of...
It's fun.
Discuss things, yeah.
It's a lot of fun. But basically, you know, check out Donnie. You know, he has a YouTube channel, TSSZ News, Sonic Paradox, you know the drill. He's been on the show before. I mean, you know Donnie. This is Donnie. So be sure to check him out. And be sure to subscribe to this channel because you're on it. Why not just hit that subscribe button, you know? But anyways, thanks for watching. See you all next time and have a fantastic rest of your week.